You're listening to MarceyLynn once again on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Hello, I am actually here in the studio. I do still exist. It's been a very busy tax season for me, so you have missed me because of those things, along with other things personally. Thank you, Harry, for the wonderful introduction, and thank you, Harry, for holding me up during this tax season because it has been absolutely nuts. I am here in the studio today because I needed a break from being at home and pre-records. But I'm also in the studio to get back to some things that we forget heal. So I have my little brother here to talk about what we are actually going to be doing starting this weekend with getting some poetry and open mics in the city, hopefully in the parks, on buses, and anywhere we can. My good friend Epic the Poet. Hi, Epic.
Hey, how you doing? What's going on?
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you as well.
Yes. Good to be seen.
That's right.
For everything we're going through. So I sent him somewhere yesterday to stimulate his already wonderful mind of unity. And I wanted to take this opportunity to let you all know that there is something coming. And it's something that we need to get our village back. It's taken time, and it's going to take all of us. So first, let's start. What's up? Since we last met, it's been so long since you've been here. It's been over a year, right?
Was it? It seemed like it's been some time.
Yeah. And I only see you occasionally since then.
Right. Be in and out.
Yeah. It's just our lives. So what you been up to?
Still the Amistand is still doing amazing things. Helping out with the community. I've been working on an album called Pen of Power. And just keeping my ears to the streets, seeing where I can help them out, and of course working.
Of course. Now go back into Amistand, because some people might not know what that is.
Also, the Amistand, we are right out West Haven on Boston Post Road 973. We are an organization that we basically really help out with like community work. We also have event space, and we're willing to just work with people. On all types of levels. We have a nice good team where just say for instance you need someone to talk to, like a psychologist or a therapist. So we have a lot of good resources and a lot of connections. So we're open. I mean the website is amastand.org. Please be free to reach out.
And that's amastand.org. So you guys can understand that. I understand it's Amistand, but that is so great because right now I think we are in a situation where mental health is being forgotten.
Most definitely.
And everyone's PTSD is becoming PTSD, and it's causing trauma on top of trauma. So it's important for people to know that you exist, so they can contact you at amistand.org.
Yes.
So, what's been going on with your poetry? And I mean, I know that New Haven has been one of those places where poetry pops up almost everywhere. Everywhere. And I'm very proud of that because, being involved with Free to Spit and then you and just in general with anything that.
Shout out to Bub. I was just at Free to Spit last week.
I couldn't make it last week, of course, because my daughter took my daughter to Morgan. And at the same time, I also miss my spiritual mother, Elaine. Elaine Eleanor Peters, her memorial service. But I was there. I bought my whole altar there, so I literally had Bob set up my altar for me. While I was in Maryland, and I was there. So there's a lot of loss in the city. What are you thinking? Like with all the assassinations, basically, it's not even like mistaken shot. These people are looking for these people and they're just killing them broad daylight. Right. What are your thoughts about how we can unite with the elders? Get the elders out. I know they can't get out in the street as much, but getting their information out.
It's a lot we could do. I mean, I feel like we're so conditioned to the loss over time, like you're doing with the mental health, and a lot of stress that just seem like every day we just accept it, deal with it, go to work. And once we get frustrated about it, we look at each other and we fight each other, you know, and it's funny, you know, it's like the person who you swinging at, you screaming at, that's not really why you're upset over them, you know. You're upset over the stress that you can't see. You're upset over, you know, the bills that's not paid, like whatever is stressing you, you know. And this, like, I feel like, you know, if we can like show a lot more compassion first towards ourselves, it's change can be made.
You know, it's amazing because I saw the other day a young lady get upset because they put pickles on something, and she just went all the way off, and I'm like going, that is more than pickles.
Most definitely. No, yeah, right.
You know, and a lot of people are using way too many medicines and, you know, different drugs and alcohol to, you know, mask the pain, but it brings it out more. So drugs, that's where a lot of the violence.
Yes, weed, alcohol, also the social media content.
Oh, jeez.
You know, just had that conversation. Video games. It's a lot, man. You know, and it's kind of like sometimes you got to unplug from all that, and actually, man, talk to your neighbor. Like in this day and time, you know how many people actually know their neighbor now. You know what I mean, it's like no one's present.
What just came to mind too, something that we can possibly do is have a simple leave your phone at home dinner. Maybe have a long straight table with some, you know, catered food. Leave your phone at home. Even if they don't leave it at home, they can leave it out front. You know, just so we can have communication.
You know, that is going to be a lonely day.
A lot of people are not going to be able to do it.
I'm good. No. You know, I got my kids. Everybody have all these excuses on why they have to have their phone. Like cell phones always been around.
I just turned my phone off for my show. I turned my phone off for church now. Good. And I say, because 9 times out of 10, the things that they're coming through on your phone as emergencies, you can't do anything about them. Right. They just need your presence. Yeah. But even though whatever you're doing right then and there, some things would stop, you know, but you still be on your phone. Even when you get there to go help, you're going to be on your phone.
But so much is tied to your phone. You have emails, you have text messages, you have, like, you know, there's like your banking. I mean, everything is tied.
Let me check and make sure my car's not
right.
I paid my meter on the phone.
Right, everything. So it's almost like it's impossible for you to coexist without it. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of detrimental effects because of that.
Yeah, and you know, I seen like during this tax season, it has been people literally were upset because I wasn't answering text. I'm like, I have 2 numbers and 171 text messages. Even if I had an assistant, I wouldn't put them through that because 9 times out of 10 is the information I've already given you. You know, so it's tough being a person like myself who's a serial entrepreneur that does a little bit of everything to keep up with everything that everybody needs. Right. And a lot of times it's just wants. So I have to differentiate the needs from the wants. That's why there's 2 different phones. There's a want phone, there's a need phone. Right. You know, and if I literally, my voicemail, and you are one of those people that get it, 24 to 48 hours. It may take that long because I might not look at that. But also, listen to that.
the same instance we're talking about, the instant gratification of you want everything instantly. That's all from the phone. Like, you know what I mean? These are still effects that all these.
Instacart, Uber Eats, DoorDash. That's why I feel like I'm supporting Black business because there's so much of a need for somebody. I am so proud of the guys on the little moped things. Oh yeah. In the winter, like I was seeing them with their little things with their hands, and you know, I respect that hustle. Yeah, that's a hustle. But I'll tell you, like that same day, I need it right now. I don't want to wait 2 days for it. There's a lot of the reasons why a lot of the places are shutting down. Yeah, that and theft, unfortunately. But a lot of places like Walgreens, and I just went out to Joann's the other day because you can get all that stuff online a lot cheaper and the next day. So in some instances, you can get it the same day. And we're not looking at the entrepreneurs that, you know. Right.
Well, also the entrepreneurs and the jobs that's being lost because of it, you know. The same jobs that, you know, sometimes, like, you know, especially right now, like on social media, there's a lot of fighting. It's so much like, you know, fighting and so much chaos and stuff is going on at the job, and it's like, you know, it might not be the perfect job, but it is a job. Yeah. And you're not going to appreciate that job until it no longer exists. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You know, the water to the well runs dry. Oh, all these different things coming to me. So some of the things that we're thinking of doing, you're already starting the monthly.
Yes.
And this weekend, what are your hopes for this weekend that people come and enjoy? $10 is not a lot.
It's not, and it's not. And I made it that way because like I want people to actually come out and get a feel for it. And it's not so much about the money. You know what I mean? I'm just basically, it's not like I'm making no money off of it.
Yeah,
it's basically covering the prices of like the DJ and small little things like that. But the ideal is just to do something different. You know, it's like come out, have a good time, but like we spend so much time and so much money of just going out, being partying. It's about the twerking, it's about the dancing, it's about what everybody who basically it's not what people got on now, but who's not wearing anything, right? And you know, it's like it's not wrong. I'm not knocking that, but you have to change it up sometimes. When you're gonna feed your brain something. So this is really about like, you know, it's networking, it's poetry, it's expression. It's a night of expression. I mean, you know, you don't actually have to be a poet, but you have your favorite song, go up there and express it. You know what I mean? And so it's like really just fun. And I'm trying to have this. I'm not trying, but this is something that's going to be going on every month. And it's something for people to look forward to.
Well, if you keep the same weekend of the month, I can definitely be on board.
Okay.
You know, so that's good. This just happens to be my sister's birthday, and she's turning 60. Happy 60th birthday, Denise! I love you. Yeah, you're pain in the butt, sister. I'm so excited about that. You know, Dexter turned 60 is different though. That's Dexter. You know, Dexter turned 60, yay! But my sister turning 60, it's like she has always been a mentor to me. She's done as much as she can. I've harassed her. I drive her crazy, but she's turning 60, and it's a blessing. Her mom's 82. Dexter's. It's just when we think about all the different milestones. It's 6 decades.
6 decades.
You know,
right.
You know, I've got my 5 decades in, so I'm just looking forward to the double bubble 55. You know, you don't understand.
Hopefully, I will one day. Right?
You understand.
Yeah, that's the flex. That's
hopefully
the flex.
I'll be here to see you understand.
Right.
You know, that's the plan, and I'll be here regardless whether I'm here or not. Because you know, a whole lot of spirit behind for y'all. Right. A whole lot of spirit. But so who are some of the influential adults and elders for you?
Well, my grandmother Gloria Frazier, she just passed a couple of years ago. She was like one of my. She was a spiritual warrior. Like, most definitely. I feel her. I talk to her all the time. I know how to reach her when I need to.
There you go.
But I would say, like, you know, my family, like, you know, my family really keep me grounded. I have an amazing mom. I have a strong, good father. Yeah. And I'm blessed. I mean, you know, wonderful? I'm blessed, and you know, it's like I'm like one of those type of people of it's not so much of a status or someone can tell me how much money they make, but the people I look up to is just the average day people. When you know what they're going through, and you know what I mean, and they still carry it and they deal with it without trying to take it out on other people, right? Those are the people who I just admire. You know what I mean? So it's like I am a person who I can learn from anyone. I'm inspired by the average person
in general. Right. Yeah. So you pay attention
to everything.
You know, and this is the best part about taking the time to sit in the presence of other people.
Absolutely.
And I have that right now, like with everything that went on with, you know, my niece and everything that she's gone through right now. I really just need to sit in it. Some people don't know how to sit in it.
No, right.
You know, you have to sit in it and feel your accountability, like in the things that are going on with our youth as a youth commissioner. What do we actually hold ourselves accountable for?
Most definitely.
You know, and then what can we do, even if we had to do something at Amazon? That's what I'm thinking of, to bring the kids together, you know, and see. You know, even if we just had a gaming night, you have
But
those wonderful TVs. Have a gaming night.
I would say that I was thinking something like that.
Mhm.
Like you have to meet them where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's entertaining to them right now might not be entertaining to me. You know what I mean? Like you like but it could be gaming night. It can be we need a life skill kind of night. Like how about things like having a date night, not actually dating, but having where the young men dress up and the young women dress up, and they are basically taught how to actually treat each other. Like we need all those kind of things.
Accordingly,
Right.
Yeah.
All these things are just fun. It's just I feel as though that where we drop the ball at is consistency. And I'm someone on that too, that I'm most definitely to evolve to become a better person. I know that I have to stay consistent on what I stand on.
There was a time where, you would look at educated partners. You would look for someone that has education, and something had flipped. Of course, because of the content. The money and who's twerking and who's got the biggest butt, all that stuff. We've had that conversation before, but my problem with that is that you can't take away media. We can't take away social media. So what they're seeing as successful is not always successful for them, but they want to try it. And some parents feel like they have to because of where they have no rights to do anything after 13. So a lot of our kids can't get the old school discipline.
Well, yeah.
They can't get the old school discipline.
Unfortunately.
But, yeah, you make a phone call, and next thing you know, you have DCF in your life. And but at the same time, I beg it. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
If you call DCF in the midst of these things, they can't help you. They can give you counseling, but they haven't been able to help a lot of people, and tragedies have been happening before things happen. Well, I wish there was a way.
So first of all, I mean, it's like there's been a lot of attack on the black community, in the black family, to say, and just as an individual, as a black man, it's like what I witnessed is coming up was that being basically you getting your beatings, getting your spankings when from bad, there's a consequence behind it. Now there's no consequence behind. Like you do anything, but the consequence comes too late, because after you do something, and now you got to spend the rest of your life in jail because you never was able to really get like the small nuggets of the consequence going up the way. This is why, like, it's like there's anything just goes. Right.
And I explained to people, I said, they always blame it on a 2-parent household. I said, because it's so hard to be one parent with multiple kids because you have to have multiple jobs, So a lot of times, there is no failure. It's just a matter of time. We have to, if you don't keep the kids fed and clothed properly, it's a problem. But if you're not there and something happens, it's a problem. So those are all the setups for the black and brown communities, impoverished communities.
And we call that population control.
Thank you. So, population control.
Right. Families are much smaller. Right.
Now we have, back in the day when we were having the 17 and 18 kids, and
we didn't have much, but we had each other.
And everybody was still a family,
right?
Even, no matter what was going on.
And you know what else too? When you had a bigger family like that older brother, they kept everybody grounded. There was consequences. So even if mom is at work, the older brother still took the morals from what mom taught her, like such as myself. And I had to enforce that to all my little brothers and sisters. This is how we live. Now, you have one child, you're working all day, and YouTube is raising
them. YouTube, social media.
Right. Then you go into school, right? And all Black history is banned. They still teaching our kids about Christopher Columbus.
Okay.
And it's like, honestly, in the situation of how we have our kids, why are we so surprised that this is what they are today?
Yeah, especially because of the lack of unity. The fact that I, as a 53-year-old mother of a 17-year-old, can't tell a 32-year-old with a 17-year-old, what I go through with my child, because she's going through something totally different, because we are in an age, and I hate to say it, that I had a 9-year-old that was pregnant. Her mom was 20.
Wow.
And the grandmother would have been, So it's like, now we could do 18-year-old mom with a 32-year-old grandma.
Yeah.
Not ready. Not one of them ready.
No.
So things are very different.
But where's the shame?
There's none.
Exactly. So without the shame, no one is holding anybody accountable. It's my life. I do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. And the morals and please don't try to correct anybody out in public.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
you can't.
They've taken that whole village away.
No, most definitely. But they did that with the crack epidemic.
Yeah, that was crack.
And I think we spoke about that. But then it's like everything is strategic. I mean, it's like at one time when
it was okay till it got the other way.
It was it was at one time. It was like it was a blessing that you had the lady across the street that was watching out for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the crack hit and she's turned out, don't say nothing to my daughter. Don't say nothing to my son, right? Because the crack have somehow like it rob you of your integrity and your dignity as a person.
My goodness!
So there's nothing.
Your life,
right? There's nothing that you want.
It's choice.
Stay away from my son. You know what I mean?
Yeah, choice. Yeah, choice. And alcoholism. It just seems like with the package stores at every corner. Yeah. There's so many package stores across from churches. I don't know.
I think it's a coalition. Somehow they go hand in hand.
Okay. All right. It's God or liquor.
Yeah.
And I'm a very faithful person. I'm constantly giving scriptures to people's situations.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go, well, that's not true. And, you have to believe in something. I don't care if you believe in a rock. But you have to believe in something to keep your mind straight.
Most definitely.
Because it's not people out there that can help you, really.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, it's got to be a higher power or some type of a spirit, that holds you up.
And you know what else though? Having the fear of God also. That's the universal. That's the universal ground. Yes, yes. If you don't fear God, then you're anything. I don't even know what to call you.
Yeah, it saves you from anger too, because every once in a while you'll get angry enough to realize that let me just give this to God. Because if I don't give it to Him, I'm going to jail. I know they got shirts like that, but it's true. It's very true. Or even people that have addiction as their main problem, or one of their main things, because it takes away your choice. You think that you're healing yourself, or you're not feeling it, but you're feeling it more. Whatever you're feeling. So with the mental health, you said you have connections there. How does someone get in touch with, do they go on amistan.org? And
Yep, they could go to amistan.org. We have all my contact information and things like that there. And if I can't help you, I most definitely have the resources and have the people around.
So that's great, because I want to make sure people know that. People don't reach out. They don't reach out and they don't search very well. It's funny, they can search for everything else on their phone. But as soon as you go on and look for, behavioral health is what they call it. And all these paid sites come up. And they don't realize that there's usually a way for them to look up who's available that covers them. Yeah, and people without insurance with mental health issues, there are a lot of resources. If you just walk in and say, look, I'm having a breakdown, go on a 24-hour hold, and someone usually is able to, help you.
But isn't it all right as a human being to feel as though that knowing that your people in your community is hurting or dealing with such as like, your great nephew, and for you to sit and have a conversation with me over your hurt, I have to charge you? Like, you see how crazy that is?
Yeah.
Like, just to help people nowadays, where you see people are suffering.
And the way I help people, I couldn't. There's no amount of money that would cover what is offered when you give spiritual guidance to somebody that's grieving, that's
but think about
dying.
Or check this out, right? While you're over there crying, I'm counting up and making sure what I told you, what it's going to be, making sure this is right, put it in my pocket. Okay, so what happened again?
Okay, yeah, isn't that something?
right,
the note taker.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the society that we're in.
There's a lot of things that you can use too, some resources you can use on your own too. They have a lot of self-help workbooks and things like that you can use. I used a service called Able To when my father passed, and I really loved that service. It's only 8 weeks, but a lot. I learned a lot of what I could do. I wasn't told this is what you need to do. This is the things that you need to do to help with that. And I think that was one of the best services I've ever had. Mental health is basically the root of all evil. There's not even money or people, It's been a hell of a ride. Hell of a ride. Hell of a ride.
Mm-hmm.
So I know during the time I was in Pennsylvania last year, you had a couple of events. Are we going to be doing anything at Stand for mothers, for Mother's Day, Father's Day? Are we thinking along the lines of something like that?
So, I mean, things are open. I mean,
Okay.
I have to check the calendar and see
Yeah.
what's on the calendar, but we most definitely connect. And if you want to do something, I mean,
So I'm calling out,
something. Right. That'd be
I'm
nice.
calling out the community to do something for Mother's Day
That'd be
and
nice.
Father's Day. It doesn't have to be on the day. It could be the Friday before, or,
Anytime we get people to come out together, and it's not so much about the twerking and all that, it's always going to be great, because that's the healing right there. That's the actually, you come out, you talk.
I can see like an all woman comedy show for Mother's Day.
That'd be dope.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Jose, I hope you're listening. Yeah, have Jose help you with that. And something really different. Father-daughter dances, and son and mom dances, and father-son things. I really think those are the ways that we need to go. And you are listening to MarceyLynn once again on WNHH 103.5 New Haven Independent Community Radio, and I'm sitting here with my brother Epic, and we are talking about the things in our community and the things that we can do with his organization, Stand. And just in general, as poets and artists, I consider myself an artist. It's just, even in social work, there's an art to it, because you have to adjust yourself to the situation. And so let's move forward on family life. I don't think we talked about last time your family life. We did talk a little bit about it, but your family life now, you have us, 2-parent household, kids. People don't think that we have the same experiences as 1-parent households, but we do pay attention to our friends that have one-parent households. So, growing up, living in Hamden, second black family on the streets, 1974. I was in New Haven. You know what I mean? I was finding out my culture differently. It was differently for my older brother and sister, because they came from, Atlantic City. To Connecticut. So, my younger brother, a lot of people don't even know exists, because he was born and raised in Hamden. And he's a graphic designer, college graduate, just doing the best that he can with his family, but he's a martial artist. He takes all of his negative energy and puts it into his art, boxing, and quite a few different martial art styles, and some that are not martial arts that are he's even created them. So, in your lifestyle, in your family, who is that person that's created, besides you, of course? I know you would know, probably most of your siblings are very creative, but who is that person back when you were a child that you would go to that would help you with the creative part of you?
To be honest with you, no one. To be honest with you, me, right. So I grew up in the time of the 90s. I lived on Rockview Circle. And this right here was a time where right. So this coming up around this time, it was about being cool, right? Like, I know I was creative, I know I could write, but actually that's not true. I had a drama teacher. Her name was Miss Stuff at the time at Fairhaven Middle School. And she knew how creative I was, right? She helped me. Like, I used to help her put the shows together. I used to, do some of the choreography work.
Oh, cool.
It was dope.
It was in you. Yeah,
it was in me. And then I remember when I got to about the 8th grade, about to go to high school, like, things just switched to the point where it wasn't so much of the kid and play dancing kind of thing now, right? Now it's kind of about, like, hanging out on the corner, being cool, getting money. It's about the gold chain. It was that kind of thing now.
Yeah.
So I want to say, the timing of the 90s kind of robbed a lot of us of our creativity. Even
because
though
of the 80s.
Right. But even though, like, hip hop was, like, to me, I feel like it was at its climax. I wouldn't say it was just so much of us, instead of trying to be creative, we was doing it on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make money. Yeah.
Well, I remember it, but it still was a different piece. It was a different piece. It wasn't like this is my corner. You know, it wasn't as bad. You know, as it is.
It was a code. Then it was a
cool.
code to live by.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like
was
that,
respectful.
It was like that
You could
word
have
shame.
a fight and live.
Have a fight and live, or you know what? You had intelligent, wise enough brothers to be like, nah, you know, y'all
That's not gonna
females, y'all
happen.
not gonna sit. Y'all, you know, we'll break this up. This is not gonna happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Now it's kind of like, nah, let them fight.
Let 'em
Like
go.
everybody want to see a fight now.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they want to record it. Mhm.
And that's the sad part
Mhm.
about it. You know, imagine if that was your mom or your
Mhm.
sister out there being
Mhm.
ragged. You know what I mean? You would want somebody to break that up. You would want,
Definitely.
right? You would want somebody, just let them fight.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
like, you know.
And I mean, like, just the whole mistaken identities turning into assassinations. We've been
Mhm.
dealing with assassinations as of late so much.
Right.
I mean, the 2 young men, Gulf Street and Shelton,
Right.
And
Yep.
then
Yep.
what just
Rest in
happened on
peace, Baba
Winter.
Blue. Yep. I know him.
Winter.
Yep.
Yeah. And then now this. What do you think it is in us that we can give to our kids to let them know their lives have value? Because I mean, the kids that are doing this or whomever's doing this doesn't value their life, obviously, if they're willing to take another one. But what can we do as a community to bring the love of self back? Because that's where we're at now.
Well, they hijacked that words and loving self into self defense, right? So now everyone is running around here. Everybody can't wait to go to the gun range, right? Everybody is talking about how they registered to carry. So it's a mind switch to have to change where, like, why do you feel safe with a gun rather than feeling safe that we don't need guns?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. And it's like, you know, we have to just make it where we're glorifying the greatness of our kids. And don't get me wrong, like I feel like a lot of our problems be where we thinking that our kids is supposed to be perfect. There's no perfect. You know, coming up, we watched the Cosby Show. Claire was a lawyer, Bill was a doctor, and Theo still messed up. You know what I'm saying? So here it is. We're in a situation where we're not, you know, the resources for our youth is nothing like that. And somehow we in our mindset we're thinking that our kids is going to do everything right, and that's not going to happen.
No,
they need it needs to be some type of like I don't want to say like, you know, the kids are just out here just acting up, shooting, just going completely crazy. But like why aren't the same type of the perception of like he was a troubled teen, this was his problem, mental. These things aren't talked about when it comes to our youth.
No.
You know, our youth are looked at as just thugs, gangsters, lock them up, throw away the key. You know what I mean? And I feel like we need to listen to our youth, listen to what they saying.
What makes them want to?
What is it that makes you want to be like this, want to be gangster? What is it that makes you want to go to jail? These kids want this. What is it? And you know, not to go so deep into this, but if you have
you need to.
If you have a teenager right now out there, and your teenager can sit in his room, right, for 6 to 8 hours a day and play a video game, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you call him to eat, he come and eat. Guess what you're setting him up for? A prison cell.
Yeah.
A prison cell right now. They play a video game and you can sit in there all day and play a video game, and they'll call you for 3 times a day to eat your meal, and you will be cool with that. And it's like we have to understand like how we are shaping in our kids' minds to the point where you might not be that type of parent that, you know, he's so loving it, but we have to be harder on our kids, man. You know what I mean?
When's the last time your child just took a ride?
Right, just take a ride, go for a walk. You know what I mean?
Together, just do something
and it's free.
Yeah.
Do something that's free. You know,
listen, we got events that are free that people aren't bringing their kids because they're afraid to bring their kids because of other kids. But you know, the lack of communication, like you said, with social media and being unable to talk. My daughter for a while said, "I don't even know how to have a conversation with." I said, "Wait, hold on, we're gonna stop that right now." Now she can have conversations because it had gotten to the point where she was. I'm working a lot. Her father's working a lot. We weren't together for a minute. So, you know, she had to go back and forth. Then, you know, just there was no real babysitting issues. It's just a matter of not having the time.
Right.
So what can we do for single mothers? That's another thing. Single mothers and fathers that have to work all those extra hours.
Well, I think we need to have more events where our youth are together. Like so how about this analogy real quick? At one time when it wasn't 80 and 90 churches on Dixwell Avenue, let's say for instance it was 6, right? Let's say if you got 6 churches, okay, well, as a kid coming up, you're gonna actually be in church with somebody else, right? Like you know, myself, so now you know him from somewhere. You know him from church. Nowadays, everything is so divided that no one knows anybody. So if you bring people together, it's like if you bring people together and we know each other from middle school, right? I'm not saying that nothing ever is going to, it's not going to turn into we might have problems, but isn't it it's something totally, it's a little different. It's just something totally different. I know where I know him from. We have game night,
we have movie night,
like, you know, instead of like the first reaction is going to grab the gun, the first reaction might be the conversation. And I feel like, you know,
have the conversation.
The emotions is just displaced. Like I said about the being frustrated, just like it's so easy to pull a trigger. Is if you could scratch your head, you could pull the trigger. Nothing makes you gangster about pulling the trigger. You know what I'm saying? And it's just something, unfortunately, once they go into jail and they have 50 to 60 years to look at, like, you know, maybe 20, 30 years in, then you realize that, you know, I'm about to get myself together, but that's 60 years out of your life, man. Like,
technology is so grand right now that it's not going to be like it was where there were any mistakes or, you know, somebody's going to jail for no reason, because technology, again, is just so great. You know, they are able to have the videos. Who knows how many people were, you know, videoing anything, you know, and then the Ring cameras doing the connection.
Well, I agree with you on that, but my problem with this is that when our youth is being murdered in the streets, the police is looking for a snitch.
Yeah.
When it's not our black youth that's being murdered in the streets, just so happen they got all the video cameras, they have all the surveillance, they got, you know, they got everything.
It's because it's available more to them.
Well, it's just to the point, like no one, like they would normalize black deaths for our youth. It's normalized.
A lot of them don't even make it. A lot of them don't even make it on media. Don't even make it.
They don't. They most definitely don't even make it. They don't even make the news.
How are you feeling about those twins down in Georgia?
Oh my God! Listen, that day it was just like so much going on that day. When I basically came across that, it's just, you know, it's kind of like understanding who, like in the presence, you have to understand yourself, right? Like, 'cause sometimes you can, like, you see something like that coming across your feed and it does something to you. And if you're not aware of what is it doing to you, it's easy for you to take that out on your kids. You could take that out on whoever's around you, and you're not even realizing, like, you was in a good mood.
This is still happening.
Right. You was in a good mood. This right here that I'm watching or I'm reading, it created this response of anger, and because it's like, here it is, 2025. Black Panther Party is done with. They eradicated. They made sure that that doesn't stand. But the Ku Klux Klan is still around and everything. Your firemen, your police.
See, they took it out of education. That's why kids don't know about it.
No, most definitely.
So they know about what they know.
And, you know, and it's sad that, you know, I'm a big historic person. I love history. I am, like, I can watch history and the Animal Channel all day.
History Network.
All day. But, you know, it's like, you know, sometimes with that whole notion of slavery, 400 years, 400. And when I was a kid, I was saying it because my parents and their parents, slavery was 159 years ago. My grandmother passed away at 91 years old.
Oh my God.
Slavery was only 159 years ago.
People don't even realize that.
Don't even realize that. That's not a long time. That's not a long time. Not at all. Not at all. But I mean, from that, it's not like it was any kind of retribution to make sure.
It's reformed. It's just different.
But most definitely it is.
Just thinking that we're sitting on top of something, but at the same rate.
They made the plantation bigger. Is all they did. So now you're free to move from one plantation to another plantation without permission. That's it.
That's it. People just don't understand that or realize that. And it's, you know, worsening with taking the things they're taking away from education. Well, what can we put back?
Well, so with education, real quick, is that, you know, we always complain that our kids don't learn what they need to learn in school. I don't look at, like, by what them taken out of. I mean, it has, most definitely. It's not. Of course, it's a terrible thing, but it's like what things that we already was complaining about. why not do something about it?
Yeah.
So why be upset? Why be upset that the school's not teaching your kid about history? Now I know that they should, but it's also your job to teach them about history, so that even if they're misinforming them on facts, just like Christopher Columbus, you don't have to worry about the lies that someone else is teaching your kid when you can basically teach them. Right. So you should have more input and more structure on the history that your kids know about themselves. And that's when self-esteem, your value,
I just want to know if they're listening to you. Right. Do you hear him? Yeah. Do you understand? Do your genealogy, find out your history, find out where you're from, find out the kings and queens you're from.
The God, yes.
Find out.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to search it, since you search everything else, search your background. Matter of fact, do your family tree. Share it, and then share it with your family.
You know those two? Be more proud of the name of your family rather than the street name that the people on the corner gave you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, some like, our ancestors, our grandparents and grandparents, they sacrificed so much for you to be here. And we let all that go because somebody gave me a street name that I'm trying to live up to.
Okay. And half the time the street names don't even make sense to me. I've tried to figure that out. Some of them street names, I don't get it. Yeah, so I try to look at my glasses. It don't even match with the individual. I can't even see the little screen here. I can't see the screen. My eyes are really, really getting bad. But that's important. What ways can we learn our history and know that it's factual? It's important for people to know that they have resources. There are a lot of resources you can find out about your name. Find out how far back you can go on your own with your people that are still here, right? The matriarchs of your family now. Don't wait till it's too late. Thank goodness we have a lot of information. My mom has severe dementia, so we have a lot of information from things that she's told us. And then we have a lot of information from, on my father's side, my aunts that have now passed, that they have given us. We found aunts and uncles that we didn't know we had, but at the same rate, we have cousins now that we didn't know we had. So believing in that, like the hush hush that we always had about the pain and the man and the, down south and the men have multiple families and all that other stuff. We have to give that up and just go ahead and find out if blood is blood and you just don't want to miss out on it in life. So I'm always trying to explain to people that, okay, so now you found your sister, now find out as much as you can about whatever. Even some kids that were adopted, finding out about their original family. At this point, maybe their mother or father has passed away and they found sisters and brothers. Well, I thought I had a sister over here now, but do the research. Family is going to be, I feel that family is going to be coming back together. We don't have no choice. Families have to come back together. There's nothing else. Yeah. And it's like if things are so high right now that you're going to have to come together. Listen, we have to split that bread. You're going to have to, most definitely. Split that egg, Scramble it and see how much you can get out of it. It's really crazy that we have become complacent. And, all right, well, it's just going to be this. But if we were to unite, the force that we could be would help everyone. Most definitely. We are people that would help everyone as opposed to just them. No, I feel like if you want to make America great again, you really, really want to see a boom in the economy, give black people their reparation. Most definitely. You want to see a change, give black people their reparation. And the sad thing about it is, most of us will give it back. Most of us, we're going to have to give it back. Yeah. Most of it because they own everything already. We got to get it. And not only that, just the mentality of this materialistic type of thing that I have to have in order for someone to see me as someone. Right, that right there is going to take over our spinning in so many different ways. My goodness, my daughter's going to HBCU. I could fear, or I could just feel it. I just have to have trust in God and faith in God because I can't think that man's going to be able to do anything for us. She's going to go and she's going to be successful. I'm claiming that. Most definitely, she will. Even if she doesn't stay there, she's going to be successful. Right, it's going to teach her daughter a lot too. So. I'm just very proud of that, proud of her, but we're doing good. We're doing good. We were, from 3 years ago, my daughter and I are a whole new place. It's amazing. Yeah. I still got to I tease her all the time. I said, you still really have to go and call the police and let them know that you're not on the runaway list anymore. I'm making her do that. It's been 4 years. I said,
Okay.
I think they know that you're home, but
Mm-hmm.
I just wait till she does it. I have to make her accountable for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that should always be on her mind.
That's excellent, and I'm sure that most definitely is so much stress off of your conscience of just knowing that your baby's home, and you'll have that communication.
She's getting there to drive. She'll be, she's very independent anyway, but now she's independent with character. Because before she was one of those, like I told you, she couldn't have a conversation, with someone. But she's like, I don't know how to do that, but I'll try. And then I see her say, I don't know how to do that. Then she comes back around and she's done it. And I'm like, you said you get to see how you got, see what happened, see what happened when you do what you're supposed to do. So let's talk about this weekend. So on Saturday, I can't be there. I can't be there, but that'll probably be one of the only, now that I can put it in my calendar, I won't be at. But I have good reason with my sister's birthday. What's we doing on Saturday? So we're starting at 6?
Starting at 6.
Starting at 6. Mm-hmm. And your address?
Oh, that's 973 Boston Post Road, West Haven, Connecticut 06516.
Mm-hmm. If you go to Dunkin' Donuts, you're gone too far.
Nope, that'll be right next door.
Yeah, literally. If you get to Dunkin' Donuts, just pull in.
Right.
Just pull in.
Right.
Just pull in Dunkin' Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always tell people that. I said, go to Dunkin' Donuts. Literally, you're there, and you've still gone too far if you go to Dunkin' Donuts because it's right there.
Right there.
Now, what's the name of the store in front? Has somebody said a braid shop or something?
They have an African braid shop. They also have a Dominican hair shop, and a Dominican salon. And then right next door is a corner store. So in the front, there's like 3 different businesses, and we're in the back side of the building.
That corner store,
I think
is famous but infamous at the same time. The owner of that corner store used to be such a wonderful, beautiful person. I don't know if you guys remember this back in the day when they killed him.
Yeah, I remember that. No, I don't remember that, but we wasn't there then.
They weren't there.
Yeah, but I heard about it.
He was such just a beautiful person, just a light spirit. I don't even know what the circumstances were, but that just happened to come to me right now.
Right.
And I just thought about it. I'm like, wait, that is because I know that beautiful, what is that iron thing? It used to be something, the iron thing that we drive under. On Boston Post Road, there's like a iron. What do you call it? I don't remember what you call it, but it looks like a gate. We'd have to drive underneath it. It looks like a gate, but it's above your head. I don't know what you call it. I no. It just reminds me of a drive-in. A drive. We need to bring drive-ins back too, but that's scary.
That'll be dope.
You have to check people's car to have drive-ins these days, unfortunately. No alcohol allowed on the grounds. And everybody's lit. Yeah. But I look forward to planning more with you and being more with you.
Most definitely.
So, again, this weekend on April 19th from 6 to 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or 6
to 11, we got a little after party happening after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I'm looking forward to that. Anything you want to leave out with?
Nah, just, my people, man, we're healing right now. Try to stay tolerant with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, let your progress play more of a role than the attention that comes with it.
Yes. And keep family lifted. For Aaron, today we have a 5 o'clock at 31 Greenwood visual balloon release. Please, please, please support the family. Bring genuine care and love energy. Epic, I love you. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you. I love you too. Thank
All
you
right,
for
we got
me.
stuff to do. Let's go get some stuff done.
Blessings come down. One need a blessing right now.